Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Today, I've just been reading more studies on negative ions and why we are having profound results, amazing results. I don't have the right words to explain how incredible it is to see the results we're having using AO Rain 2.0. Those of you who've been following me since I first started using frequency and energy in 2008 and helping people with that, you guys know that I like to research. I like to understand what's going on. I like to try to find out, why? Why are these things working? What actually is going on in the body that is making such an amazing such amazing results? I mean, I can't make it up. My friend Yeah, I could go through testimonies, but today I just want to share a little bit of studies so you guys can see what I'm talking about and why we are loving AO Rain 2.0. One thing is I was printing all the studies and just realized I can't print them all. I mean, I guess I could. I could print them all, but instead I really want to encourage you, which most of you aren't going to do this. I know you're not going to do this because I, I've just been astounded at how few people really research. It's been really popular now to be homeschooling ever since 2020. Thank God for those of you who are homeschooling now. I started homeschooling back, wow, I think when we moved to California, I had already been starting. So we moved here in 2002. We had already done preschool when we had moved to Bellingham, Washington, and we moved to San Diego, to Poway, and our neighbors next door homeschooled. So it was great to have a network right where we moved. So the point about homeschooling is we want to encourage people to be lifelong learners and not just take what someone says for granted. If somebody's telling you something, go. How do I explain this, you guys? Like, the idea for homeschooling is to teach, again, lifelong learners, to teach the children to love learning, to love being inquisitive, to not just memorize something and spit it out. Or in my case, because our life depended on frequency and energy, which I didn't know it at the time, but not just depending upon a book by a doctor or even a handful of doctors, but researching and studying and really asking God to show us. So I can't take credit for any of this because it's all God leading me, guiding me, helping me to, first of all, the first thing we did was help one of our daughters with asthma, allergies, help so much with frequency, energy, hydration, negative ion water, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, eliminating food sensitivities was a huge thing. She was actually the one leading that. Doing bioresonance and biofeedback to see what things were stressing her body, and then eventually helping my other daughter with Lyme disease and co-infections, and my husband with migraines and joint pain and so many health challenges that frequency and energy have helped so much. The latest thing that I'm super excited about is really blowing everything else out of the water. So when I first helped, and again, God led me to answers from things from Australia, from Germany, Switzerland, things from Japan, things not in the USA, not medical devices or things in the USA. When I started having such great results and seeing things happening, and I wanted to learn why and how and what things were doing, I would share it with people. I'd be like, this works, that works, this practitioner does that, this practitioner does this. go check them out. If you're stuck, instead of having surgery right away, why not just go check in with a chiropractor, acupuncturist, even a massage therapist, even a bioresonance, even um, just go check out other practitioners. And I would want to be a patient liaison and go with my friends to their appointments. Now, we never had this. I wish I had this. I'm going to do a post showing myself how I looked. I was tired. I was not energetic. Right now, I would be taking a nap. I would take a nap every day. I would look at my bed and be so tired. And I'm going to talk to you about things that help me. But if I had had this, what I'm showing you now with AO Rain 2.0 and the studies that we're seeing, biological effects of negative air ions on human health, effects of negative air ions on potential for it's amazing. We are beyond blessed. What if you could be sitting in your chair in your home, or if you're a practitioner, while your clients come in and they're waiting for an adjustment or they're waiting to see you or get blood work or whatever. What if they were able to, you could flip a switch and they'd be sitting next to a negative ion waterfall. And they just feel so relaxed and so calm and just feel so good. Or you were able to just switch them off and put them into a forest of trees by the ocean and just really let them just breathe deeply and not be stressed at all and just start just feeling great. What if the benefits of that were far beyond you could even imagine? And that you can do this now. You can actually take a technology that I'm going to help you get into your home or into your office or into your practice or into wherever you are, that's going to be like after lightning storms, after rainstorm, that you actually feel like you can just breathe more deeply and think more clearly because everyday living, we're being bombarded by harmful, oxidizing, I would say, or negative, not negative in the good. I love negative ions and negative ion water, but not good frequency, not good energy. And really, we're not getting clean air anymore. Those of you who have an app on your phone, again, be a little detective, check things out. When when I think of carbon monoxide, okay, I'm kind of digressing, I'm just taking a little rabbit trail here. When you think of carbon monoxide and how there's carbon monoxide testers that are out there, right? Because you want to have it in your home because it's silent, it's dangerous, if you had carbon monoxide poisoning. And we know that if you had, a lot of carbon monoxide, it would be very harmful for you. And when I was researching, what are the causes of carbon monoxide? Why am I seeing more parts per billion? Now, parts per million would be killing us if we saw these numbers that we can see on your app. So put in your app on your weather app, click on your city, and then go to the air quality. Click on that, and the top thing that should show up is your carbon monoxide. So right now in my area, 388 parts per billion. If that were parts per million, we would be extremely sick. But still, I'm wondering why that number is so high. Some of my friends live in Orem, Utah. So I always compare to that area. So I look at Orem, Utah. I look at their air quality. I click on it, and their carbon monoxide is almost always less than 1 part per billion. And it just makes me, want to research why is there to have carbon monoxide, what do you think? You leave the stove on, or you're in the garage and you shut the garage and the car's on? It's really from a lot of environmental things that we're being exposed to, like our cars, um, air traffic, pollution. So I notice that I feel so much better I feel worse when I see the parts per billion of carbon monoxide are high, even though it might say the air quality is good. And I've noticed some areas, like check New York City out sometimes. Check out where these fires are. Check out where, even where it's bad weather or cloudy, just look at that and ask yourself, should we really be having this much carbon monoxide? And maybe it's a rabbit trail, maybe not, but I just want us to dive in and ask that question because that's something that came up when I was researching the benefits of negative air ions, when I was trying to understand the difference between people who have ozone machines, because I know we don't want too much oxidation, we don't want too much oxygen, we don't want too much hydrogen. We want to have a balance. We want to help. We don't want to be infusing our water, for example, with oxygen or infusing it with hydrogen and just drinking that. We want to be having a balance. That's why I like negative ion water, where it's not too much of one oxygen or hydrogen. We leave the minerals in and we call it electrolyzed reduced water because we're able to break apart the water molecules, the clusters of water molecules so that it's able to be hydrating us better. And it's called negative water in Japan. So that's where a lot of my curiosity began when after PEMF, after bioresonance, after light therapy, red light, blue light, green light therapies, after chromotherapy, after sound and light therapy, I got into why were people talking about redox waters that help with the redox signaling? Why were people talking about alkaline? Why were people talking about, reverse osmosis? Some naturopath books said to drink natural reverse osmosis book. And again, this is all going to come back to what I'm talking about with negative air ions, because when we learned about negative ion water and how beneficial it is and how it's replicating nature, how it's like the water moving on the earth and it's charged and it's broken apart. So we think about a glacier and the earth has an electromagnetic field and there's minerals in the stones and the soil and the water's moving so fast and it turns out to be living water. So there's dead water, living water. It's similar with the air. Why do you feel so good or maybe even detoxy after being at the ocean? When I was very dehydrated and not healthy and skinnier than I ever had been, after the ocean, I could barely drag the chair or a blanket or towel or anything back to the car because I just feel so heavy, like so detoxing. When Caitlin was going through starting to do natural frequency and energy for fighting Lyme disease and co-infections, we'd go to the ocean. Definitely huge detox reaction every time we were there. So I knew there was something more than just the sand and the air. There's something to the negative ions that just help our body be able to heal, that help our body be able to, release toxins, but be able to just feel better overall in over time. So that detoxy feeling is no longer in us. When we go to the ocean, we feel invigorated, we sleep better, we feel so calm, we feel amazing. Now, when we go to the ocean, that wasn't how it was when we were in a crisis. When we were going through Lyme disease, or I feel like I had chronic fatigue, I probably had Lyme disease too. I had a lot of the symptoms when we were going through things. So, talking about water, talking about frequency, energy, and coming back to again, these studies, the biological effects of negative air ions versus uh, ozone or versus, just filters or versus, I want you to think about being in a hospital room where they have sterilized everything and there's nothing living in the air. But you go by the ocean, that's not like sterile air. That's living air. There's lots of microorganisms, maybe some not good, maybe some good. The point is that we don't want to just sanitize everything, which I've been teaching my clients and my friends since 2008. We don't just want to clean our water or clean our air so well that it's completely dead water or that the air is so sterile that there's no benefits, no negative ions in the air. Mm. I mean, you want to be giving yourself so much good. Think about dead food versus living food. So living food would be things like fresh picked oranges off the tree. Wow. Mm. Living in California, there is nothing better than harvest season from an orange tree. You just want to juice oranges and just eat it drink it every day. It's so good. Versus, when I was a child, the orange juice we would have was in those little frozen cardboard containers with a little metal on each end. And then we needed to add tap water to it and stir it up and wait till that chunk of frozen uh, orange juice, still better than all the plastic and stuff they're doing now, but it just is not the same. Can you guys agree? So again, going back to why I am ecstatic and why I've been reading all these studies about negative air ions is because I want you to feel the benefits of having nature's calm, replicating nature in your home, in your office, and have a proactive approach. Some people wait until they have had $1 million in surgeries and drugs and treatments before they reach out and want to do what I'm doing. They'll ignore my texts for years or even months and tell me, wow, the most recent time thing we did was 500,000 or $800,000. So we're not talking about treating, curing, preventing, diagnosing a disease, but we want you to have a proactive approach to well-being. Instead of thinking, okay, I want to have AO Rain 2.0 for my spouse because he was only given like 6 weeks to live or something like that. And then not, no, use it for yourself. Be proactive because the research of a 2023 review report said that negative air ions may support emotional balance and ease atypical seasonal symptoms, particularly when used consistently. So be proactive. So even if it's just for your own emotions, have you heard, have you read, have you studied, haven't you heard for years that one of the most harmful things for your health is stress, is worry, stress? Why does the God say in the Bible that we should not worry about if God cares about the sparrows, if he cares about the birds, doesn't he care about you? Yes, that's why I'm here. I'm here helping you because God cares about you. It's not chance you got on this video. Using AO Rain is safe and simple, no matter if it's a baby, all the way, all walks of life. Athletes, um, I can tell you when my daughter was pregnant, she was under rain. Her baby was born. They were using rain. It helps. I've had people tell me how it helped with morning sickness, how it just helped them feel more positive. It helped with, what is that thing that happens after a baby's born where people feel sad? It helps with that. Because your mood is enhanced when you are flooded with negative ions. It increases the level of serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter. I have loved digging into and learning about serotonin and how it plays such a key role in not only your mood regulation, it's like a hormone, and increased serotonin levels can help alleviate stress, alleviate anxiety and depression. And I want to just talk a little bit about, wow, all the reactions and actions that happen with serotonin. It's also called 5-HT. It's again a neurotransmitter. It's like a hormone, but the neurotransmitter serotonin carries messages between nerve cells in your brain, so your central nervous system, and throughout your body, so your peripheral nervous system. Okay, so the chemical messages that tell your body how to work. Serotonin plays roles in your body, including influencing your learning. Someone was asking me, why do you feel like you can read faster, Debbie? This is the biggest thing I've added. For memory, do you just want to remember names, remember things, remember where you... I can tell you my 2-year-old granddaughter has an incredible memory, unbelievable memory. Colors, numbers, counting, letters. where she's been, what people do. It's incredible. And I believe it's from the negative ions she receives through her water, through the air. And she's also doing a lot of biohacking that her mom has her on. So, but this negative ion helps with your body temperature, regulating your body temperature, happiness, happiness, sleep, other behaviors in your body. Serotonin is especially helpful and plays a huge role in depression, anxiety, manias, and other health conditions. So look up serotonin. Don't take my word for it. That's a thing. I've watched people, I never realized how crazy it was that people would just believe someone who said something on TV, like as if they're the authority. Yes, I'm only an authority because I just research, study, keep getting certifications. Don't take your word for the answer. Just because somebody owns a naturopath clinic, just because someone owns the biggest chiropractic clinic or wellness center, or don't just take their word for it, you guys. Just because they own a business or they're have 5 degrees or a double MD and whatever, we still need to be learning because we are in the day and age of technology, information, and the information is coming out that we are more energetic than we are chemical. So let's give ourselves what we need. Charge yourselves with the AO Rain in 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, you can charge all the cells in your body. What does that mean? Well, think about your car. Some of you drive a Tesla. Do you drive a Tesla? Okay. Do you drive an electric car? What do you have that's electric that you need to charge? Your phone. If you're not charging your phone or your car or whatever you need to charge, it's not going to work optimally. And especially when it starts playing low battery, put it on low battery. Is it going to go as fast as when it's fully charged? No, it's not. So please look at this. Please look at charging the cells in your body as foundational. And there is no other way I have found that I am getting such fast results. And it's not a one time. You don't just charge your battery today and then next week say, oh, why didn't this work? Why isn't it holding? Why did it only last 3 days? You need to be charging your body, charging your cells every single day. And I'll get into more teaching about, EMF and PEMF and terahertz and light therapy. But today we're just really focusing on the most powerful thing I have found ever since, we did over time. It's been the most powerful thing, the most powerful thing, the most powerful thing, the most powerful thing. This is going to be amazing. So when you think about serotonin, it's going to help with digestion, nausea. So I see morning sickness clearing, sleep. Serotonin helps with your sleep, wound healing, bone health, and other things. So I want you to think of negative air ions as anti-oxidation, anti-inflammation, anti-apoptosis and angiogenesis. Let me just backtrack actually. So it's antioxidation, anti-inflammatory, and it's going to help. Let me just scroll down here to read a little bit more of serotonin, but not just serotonin. I wanted to highlight also not just 5-HT levels, which is serotonin, but also which is going to help with happiness, focus, calmness, but C-FOS. So I did not know what C-FOS was. So I went into a study on that. Basically, there's immediate early genes, IEGs, that are a group of genes that are rapidly and temporarily activated in response to a stimulus. One example of an immediate early gene is C-FOS, and that's what we're seeing with negative ions, which produces a protein called FOS, okay? So the protein combines with another immediate early gene protein called JUN, J-U-N. a transcription factor that regulates the expression of the late response genes. Okay, immediate early genes play a role in longer-term responses of neurons to stimuli, such as changes in the production of neurotransmitters and receptors. Oh my goodness. So not just regulating 5-HT levels, but also it also is affects the expression of the C-FOS. So oh, that study really just blew me away. That exposure to negative air ions promotes energy production and affects the expression of C-FOS and regulates 5-HT levels. 5-HT is serotonin, 5-hydroxytryptamine, or 5-HT. So again, happiness, focus, and calmness. So why are we seeing such incredibly fast results? Because it's so easy. You sit in a chair. So even my clients who can't talk or can't make eye contact or are now athletes, you're going to love it. People who've had hearing challenges, people who've been depressed, people who have digestive issues, they come in, they feel it. So it's basically like you sit under this thing we call rain. It's going to kind of, I guess, to describe it as a lamp, I'll have to post a video after this. You can really see it in action. You just adjust the height. The closer it is to your head, the more you feel it. When it's close to your head, it actually feels almost like a buzzing sometimes. Some people feel it. Some people feel it down their face. They say, oh, is there water running? Some people feel it on their feet. We'll get into more things with negative ions, how they can help with pain, and just balancing. Let's see what else. But if the farther away, so I usually start with it farther away from your head and move it closer as you are enjoying it. And then we also can have you lay on a massage table and put it over your chest, wherever you want to really be pouring in, dumping in, emitting the most negative air ions. Then the most negative ions, we just move it over that area. I had someone with a collapsed lung, so we moved it over. She wanted it over her shoulders, over the back. We just ask that you do not touch it. You don't want to feel a little shock. Does not feel good. That's the only there's no contraindications, just don't touch it. If you're adjusting the height, I have you turn it off. There's a remote to turn it off. Adjust the height up and down, turn it off, turn it on. 20 minutes is really all you need. Most people like to be under it 30 to 45 minutes, and they just feel so good. The other thing we ask is that you don't have metals on. I mean, I still hold my phone or, wear my watch, but it's best to just take off the metals that you have. You don't have to worry about your ring or little things. Um, just set them to the side and just enjoy. Get comfortable. Just kind of let yourself breathe in. Just take in that fresh air. People say it smells like the cleanest, freshest, like being in a forest or being by the ocean. It just smells so fresh and clean. And you guys are going to love it. In this day and age where it's hard to actually, like even when I looked at the moon last night, I couldn't see any stars. There's just like a fog. Every morning I wake up, the sky's not clear. And I'm in San Diego. It doesn't feel clean and clear. Some thick fog that used to just be May haze and June gloom seems to be coming all year round from the ocean. And this is it's essential to my health. It is essential. Think about negative ions on your skin. Like, why do I feel like my skin is glowing more? A lot of things. I'm going to talk about some other things I do, but this is the easiest thing. And I'm so excited you're here. I want to keep teaching you about what I'm learning. Um, and I'll put a link below so how you can get your own negative ion. Use it for 15 days. Okay. So there's a 15-day return policy. You will notice results. You will notice something in 15 days. Just get it. Just use it in your practice for 15 days. Put everyone under it and let me know how you're doing so I can walk you through it. So I can talk to you about or text you some other tricks of the trade. But don't delay. We people are suffering, and the Bible says not just people perish for lack of knowledge. He says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. God's people perish for lack of knowledge. This is a knowledge I want everyone to know about. I can't hold it in any longer. I've been using it every day since 2024. I've wanted it ever since I first learned about it in 2022, 2021, 2022, right around there. It's amazing. I'm so grateful. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.